This is the story of Robert Smalls, a man who was born a slave and went on to hold one of the highest positions in government and become a hero of the Civil War. Robert Smalls was born into slavery in South Carolina. Back then, if a slave had enough money, they could literally buy their freedom. But Smalls wanted to buy the freedom of his whole family, a price that was more than he could afford. In 1862, while working close to Northern lines on a Confederate boat called the CSS Planter, Smalls hatched a plan. One night, when the white officers left the ship, Smalls was left in charge. With no time to spare, Smalls took over the ship, rounded up the other slaves and their families, and set sail towards Union waters. But Smalls and his crew would have to pass through 4 Confederate checkpoints before they would be free. Smalls disguised himself by wearing the captain's jacket and straw hat and mimicking his gait. Having worked on the CSS Planter for years, he knew all of the hand signals used by Confederate sailors to pass through checkpoints. The boat passed 1, 2, and 3 checkpoints. At the final point, which was also the most heavily armed, Smalls flashed a signal and got the go-ahead. And just like that, Robert Smalls and his family literally sailed to freedom. Towards the end of his life, Smalls returned to the house in which he was born a slave, buying it outright from his former slave master to live out his days. A man who went from slave to one of the most prominent figures in America.
God sent me here to be a cowboy. And the first thing a lady told me, said, when you rode in the arena, she said, everybody's eyes were on you. And she said, half of them wanted you to win. The other half don't give a damn whether you win or not because of the color of your skin. But I'll always want to win. I've been a professional cowboy since 1959. Dealing with racism back in the 50s and 60s, and now, it's still kind of hard. People would see me at a rodeo, and because I was of a different color, they thought I was working for somebody. People want to know a lot of times, why did you want to be a calf roper? Well, I had seen a lot of black cowboys judged improperly. But in the calf roping, I knew that I wasn't going to be judged by a human, I was going to be judged by the clock. The clock was going to determine whether I get any money or not. Right now, all I do is put on Cowboys of Color rodeos. Cowboys of Color features Indians, blacks, Hispanics, and white cowboys also. Black cowboys in the history books is damn near forgotten. Very many people don't even realize that New Mexico was discovered by a black man. Chicago was founded by a black man. I don't care what color you are. These are the kind of things that we want young people to know. I have 4 boys. They are all professional cowboys. My granddaughter, Rachel Hearn, this was her first big rodeo. So it's a way of life for us. I'm 76 years old. That's pretty darn old for a cowboy. It's in my blood. I think the day that I lay down and can't breathe anymore, I'll still be looking for a rodeo.
I would see children feeling insecure about who they were because of their skin color and their complexion. But I would also witness that children were making fun of each other based off of their skin color.
Look at her hair, look at her braids, look at her eyes, look at her nose, look at her fro.
black children, like calling each other blackie, saying their hair is like nappy. I witnessed this for a long time, so I created this song for the children that I teach because I wanted to change their perception of beauty and how they felt about themselves. And I wanted to encourage them to love themselves.
My black is beautiful, beautiful. My black is beautiful. My black is beautiful.
I remember growing up and feeling very insecure about the way I looked. I felt my nose was like not straight enough, was too flat, and I felt my skin was dark. Also, when you looked on the television, the images that were portrayed did not reflect who I was as a black child. After attending college, I took a trip to Africa that really made me embrace and love who I was. I teach at a charter school called Helen Y. Davis Leadership Academy. We have what's called a girls group. One of the things we talk about is self-esteem, because I saw that many of the young girls I taught didn't feel good about themselves and they felt uncomfortable in their black skin. So the do now question is, do you think skin color determines a person's value or worth in this society?
I said no because I don't think your skin should define you in any type of way.
We have to work hard and not listen to what people say and keep our mind focused on school so that we can make it to where we want to be.
I think it's important to use music as a way to inspire and to transform people's lives. I vowed to make this song for all black girls to really define beauty for themselves.
In life, there's one thing you should remember. The love of self is more precious than anything else.
I already see a lot of the young ladies feeling much more confident, they're much more outspoken, and they're much more willing to tell their stories.
My black is beautiful.
My black is beautiful.
My black is beautiful.
It's what happens when children feel good about themselves, that transfers to all other aspects of their lives. There are many problems we can solve in this world, and mine is to make sure that black women feel good about themselves and black children feel good about themselves, because I think that is the foundation of all education.
You think they ready to sing, Dirty Walk?
Yeah, let's see.
You think they ready to sing, Jay?
Let's get that sunshine shit going.
Yeah.
Come on, help me out now. Come on, shit.
Every day sunshine.
Every day sunshine.
Back then, we get a lot of, you guys are playing that white boy music and we really don't listen to that, you know, and it's going too fast.
To finally get to a place where there is now a sea of all the rainbows of people, with a lot of black kids there, we're at the point of progress.
I hear from a lot of people in color say, you guys made it okay for me to feel like it was all right to be black in the rock. I hear that a lot.
Brooklyn's Afropunk Music Festival was born in 2005 for alternative black culture. But before there was a space for celebration, a strong handful of bands were paving the way, like the band Fishbone.
My name is Angelo Moore, frontman of Fishbone.
I'm John Norwood Fisher, bassist for Fishbone. Fishbone was formed in the late 70s, and there was a Los Angeles, 1978.
There wasn't too many bands that looked like us because an all-black band playing punk rock and ska, you probably counted on one hand. The crazy part about it was, while we were starting to play a lot of rock and roll, we really weren't embraced too much by the black public. We were embraced a lot by the white public, so we get a lot of white kids coming to the show. Black people ain't supposed to play rock. That's not the stereotype. Black people are supposed to play R&B and funk and soul. If you got dreadlocks, you're supposed to be playing reggae.
And if you put on a suit and tie, you play jazz.
You can play jazz, right? Afropunk is a celebration of rock and roll, black music for everyone.
It's incredible, and it draws in youth of color to say this is for you in a larger way than we did.
You can be the beautiful black you and rock.
people say that like, oh, like we're doing this because black girls can't do ballet, so this is the alternative. It has nothing to do with that. I will tell you, every girl in this studio is classically trained. Everyone does ballet and everything else.
Up, last one. And down. Heels. Bounce. Bounce. Bounce.
My name is Zipporah Wilson and I'm a hip play dancer. Hip play is a mixture of hip hop and ballet, but really anything that we can try to put on point that has like a groovy feeling to it.
My name is Homer Hans Bryant and I'm the founder of Hip Play and the founder and director of the Chicago Multicultural Dance Center. I think some people get mad when they see us doing Hip Play. It's not traditional classical ballet. We're ruining ballet. Well, no, it's not ballet, it's Hip Play. It's how we empower our kids. It's how we empower the world. Hip Play is so freeing and so open. So there's a different culture here.
Some of the hip play movements are the hip play strut, the twist in and out, the moonwalk, the Vivian, and the zippy. You have to have a certain posture when you're doing ballet. Usually you're up tall, like straight figure, posture, everything. Pointe shoes were designed for ballet. Hip play is different. In hip play, you can break that. You can just really move your torso more and you can bounce with it, you can have fun with it.
You got it, you got it.
I grew up thinking that I couldn't do ballet because of the color of my skin. At my old studio, because I was African American, I was often overlooked until I came to CMDC is when I really learned that there was something off. I'm grateful to Mr. Homer because he's shown me that I can do anything. I love dancing hip play. It just gives you a sort of a confidence and just a freedom of just to be yourself. This is the dance genre that does not discriminate. If you have rhythm and you can groove on point, you got it.